Hi everyone, it's Erin from the Provincial Farmhouse. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be creating a Valentine's Day wreath. We're going to be using IOD's Swags, Bird Songs and He Loves Me Moulds. We're also going to be using amazing casting resin and Jovi air dry clay. You can find a full product list in the description of this video and all your crafting needs on our website, theprovincialfarmhouse.com.au. Let's get started. I got this wooden hoop from one of the big box stores. I will link where I got it from in the description, and I thought it would be a great base. So to start off with, I'm dusting my molds with cornstarch, and then I'm working Jovi air dry clay into the little design there that has the sweet little roses, perfect for Valentine's Day. So I'm dusting them, and then you can see I'm rolling the clay into a sort of long sausage shape, and then I'm working it into the design, and the micro rim is really helpful here. So I'm going to do 3 of the swags for my wreath, and then I am positioning them onto my wooden round. So you can see here that I'm sort of positioning them. There is going to be a little gap there, and originally I made the bow from the laurel mold, but in the end I decided not to go in that direction, so you will see that disappear shortly. So I am adding strong wood glue to the wooden hoop to adhere my castings there, and I am leaving a gap. I'm actually going to remove that bow shortly, and I'm going to leave that gap and we're going to put something else there. As much as I love that bow, I just didn't think the proportions were correct for the look that I was going for. After my castings had had a little bit of time to set up, I am using Dixie Belle's Tea Rose Chalk Mineral Paint. It is a beautiful dusty pink. I'm painting over the entire wreath, and then after that first coat is dry, we're going to come in with some other pink tones. Remember to be gentle with your castings when they're still fresh. You don't want to damage any details. So you can see on the left of the wreath there, I've had a little bit of a play with some other colors, and I'm going to show you here step by step how I achieved that look. So I'm grabbing Dixie Belle's Fluff Chalk Mineral Paint, and then we are using Desert Rose Silk Mineral Paint. These are 2 different types of paint, and ordinarily you wouldn't mix them when they're wet, but there's no issues in doing this here. I don't need to worry about compromising any of the silk properties. We just love the color. So I've got a flat small artist brush. You can see I'm getting a little bit of fluff on one corner, a little bit of Desert Rose on the other, and then I am going to paint my roses. So you can see there's some details there. So I'm just moving my brush in a little bit of an arch movement there, and then I will adjust my brush and keep going around. I love the two-tone effect that this gives. You can see that I've gone on the inside of the rose and repeated that step again, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to repeat that step, little bit of the fluff on one side of the brush, Desert Rose on the other, and we're going to alternate in which order we have those colors. This is going to give the roses some depth, and we really want to have a bit of interest here. We don't want it to just be a plain pink wreath. The tea rose is also going to mix in really nicely because obviously we're not going to be getting in all of the grooves. So we've got a mixture of Desert Rose, tea rose and fluff happening here. So I'm going to work my way around the wreath, repeating that process. It was a little bit time consuming, but it's very effective. I have sped up the footage here. Once my paint was dry, I am spraying on some satin clear coat. This is going to be a great base for our next step. Once the clear coat was dry, I grabbed Dixie Belle's Whitewash Glaze, and I am applying that to the entire wreath using an artist brush, and you can see that I apply it and then I wipe it back. Having that clear coat as a base is allowing me to have a lot of freedom to wipe back as much as I want. This is a really beautiful look in my opinion, and I'm just absolutely loving it. I'm then going to seal the entire piece with gloss clear coat. When the gloss is dry, I'm grabbing my favorite Hessian ribbon from Costco, and I am just measuring out how much I'm going to need. I'm going to be doing a bow with multiple loops, so I'm just making sure I've got enough there, and then I'm cutting it off. Next, I'm finding the halfway point and I'm going to create 2 loops, and then I'm going to tie those loops together. Once I've tied the knot, I'm then adjusting how big each of the loops are, and then I am going to be taking one end of the ribbon and I'm going to create another loop, and I'm going to put the tail end of that ribbon through the knot that we created at the back there, and I'm going to carefully pull that until I have that loop a similar size to the first loop, and then I am going to repeat the process on the other side. This is a really easy way to create a little bit of interest in what would be a sort of ordinary boring bow. I'm going to attach my bow using my hot glue gun. So I'm going to apply the hot glue to the wreath itself, and then I'm going to apply the bow and add a bit of pressure. I'm then going to trim off the ends of the ribbon there for a tidier look. I was going to leave it there, but after looking at the wreath for a little bit, I decided I wanted to add a little bit of something else. So I am casting 2 birds from the Birdsong mold, and I'm using amazing casting resin. I am then taking the castings out of the mold and I am going to paint those with Dixie Belle's Endless Shore Silk Mineral Paint. I'm also going to cast 2 of the same leaves from the He Loves Me mold. I'm then going to apply a coat of Dixie Belle's Kudzu chalk mineral paint, and then I'm using a wet wipe to wipe back some of that paint to give it a 2-toned look. Also going to have a bit of play with some glaze. I'm adding some pearlescent glaze to the birds. This is going to give them a lovely shimmery effect. And then I'm going to be using the whitewash glaze over the leaves and wiping back the excess. I'm going to position the 2 birds facing each other, and I'm also going to have the little leaves either side, and I'm going to attach these using my hot glue gun. Now, if you liked the look of the wreath before I added the birds and the leaves, that's fine. You could just leave this last part out. Now, I used Jovi air dry clay on our roses at the start, but I did use resin for these other pieces because I knew that they wouldn't have a base that would steady them. I would worry that clay would snap and break if it didn't have anything behind it to support it. So resin really was the best choice for these parts. So you can see here I'm just adjusting the little bird's tail so that I can put the leaf behind. I love layering with molds, and IOD makes it so easy. There's so many beautiful designs. If you're going to give this project a try, remember you don't have to use a hot glue gun. You could definitely use super glue or some other sort of wood glue to adhere your pieces. I just picked the hot glue because it was quick and easy. And here's our finished Valentine's Day wreath. I had a lot of fun making this wreath. Let me know what you think of this project in the comments, and please hit that like button if you like it. If you haven't already, I would love it if you could hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our projects. You can find the products used on today's video on our website, theprovincialfarmhouse.com.au. Thanks for watching.